Yeah, hello everyone. This is Sanchit Tiwari, and I'm going to discuss the XXE injection, which is commonly known as XML external entity injection. So quickly, what we are going to see here that what is exactly the external entity injection is, and how it is occurring, and we'll definitely see one lab. With the help of that, we will see how exactly we can exploit and what can be the impact of this vulnerability, and surely what can be the mitigation of this vulnerability. So okay, so start within the what is exactly it is. So it is the XML external entity injection, right? So with the injection, we can understand that this is a kind of injection that we have to input some characters, some special code or some special script, whatever we can say, right? So entity, that is a individual, and any individual object, any individual code or any individual class, whatever it can be, right? External, that is external, right? That means whatever we can input, you are giving input into the application from external sources, it's an external thing, right? And XML, so XML is a like a format for the application or the web applications, which is used to exchange the data between the application and server. So extra markup language that is known as, and this is there is a vulnerability present into it. So what exactly the vulnerability? So external entity injection is a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with the application's processing of XML data. So what exactly it is? It is a vulnerability where attacker is able to interfere with the application's processing of XML data. Like the main thing is the attacker is able to interfere whatever the data is getting exchanged with the server. So where the attacker can interfere and manipulate the data, right? So what exactly he can manipulate and how it is dangerous. So we will going to see here. It is often allows an attacker to view the files on the application server file system, right? So he can manipulate the data to read the sensitive files from the application server file systems, or to interact with any backend or external systems. That means SSRF we can do here. So this is the main issue for the XXC injections. So also it can access the application itself, like external systems or internal systems that application can access. This is the example of SSRF, right? So another thing, in some situations, an attacker can escalate an XXC attacks to compromise the underlying server or other backend infrastructure by leveraging the XXC vulnerability to perform server-side request. That is the same I just mentioned. So how it is going to arise, right? So as you can understand from the name external entity injection, that means you are going to inject some external entity which is not already present, or which the like a parser is not going to expect that you are going to enter any unexpected external entity. So how we are going to enter that and how it is going to be exploited, that is we are going to see, right? So yeah, we're going to see a basic lab from where we will get to understand how it is exactly it is offering, right? So here is a one lab, and here if you can see in my screen, so this lab is going to be accessed. Yeah, just a second. Yeah, screen is visible, I think, right? Yeah, we can access any kind of we can access any product. So for example, we are accessing the lazy dog, and in the description, if we try to check the stocks, which how much it is available into this category, so it is showing 833 units, right? So we are going to capture it in the verb suit, and in the history if we see, yeah, this is the request. So this is the request, and if we are sending it into the repeater, so firstly we'll check the response. Yeah, 833 units it is showing. So if we are inspecting it here, this part, So you can easily see this is here it is mentioning XML version 1.0 encoding UTF-8 वगैरह वगैरह. So we can clearly see that this kind of data is getting exchanged between the server and the application in the XML format, right? The product ID and the store ID, all these things, and the response is 833 units. So this get data is getting exchanged in the XML version. So definitely we can check the XXC injection here whether it is possible or not. So how we are going to see that, right? So firstly we have to input an external entity. How we have to create that and we have to manipulate that. So what we will do, just below this declaration, we will create our own external entity. So how we can create that we will see here. So firstly we have to create this brackets, and now what we will do, we will firstly define the doc type. Doc type is a type of document type. What kind of document is this, right? So we are going to define the doc type. It will be all, it will be here. One second. This is a doc type, and we will give a name like data, and after that we are going to define our external entity, right? So how we will define it? Let's see here. So it will be under bracket, square bracket. Okay, yeah, now we are going to define our entity. So entity will be declaring same. We will define it entity, and we will give a name to the entity. It will be xxe, and then we are going to define that it is from system, and now we are going to say what kind of action we want to perform here. So it will be accessing the files from the server system. So it will be file, and this is like this, and we want to access the etc passwd file from the server. So we will like mention here etc and passwd. So this is how we have to create our entity. So you can clearly understand this doc type. We have mentioned a data, and then after we have created our entity which is xxe, and there we have like defined our code which we want to do, like whatever we want to access. Like firstly we are seeing the how we can access the files from the server and all those things. So we are defining clearly here file as a etc passwd. Then we are going to call uh, this block of code. So how we can do that, we can easily write here as a xxe. Just a second. Okay, I think I did something wrong here. Yeah, one second. Oh, okay. Yeah, correct. It is correct now. Okay, now we will send our request, and yeah, look at this response. We can see all the details of that file, passwd, root, daemon, bin, all the details. This is a sensitive file which we can access without the authentication or any authorization externally, right? Just because we have inputted any external entity which is xxe, right? And just put our code which we want to access. Because of this, we can access this all these things. This is the xxe injection. So what we saw that what is xxe, and here what's how it is occurring, and exactly with the help of lab. And apart from this, we are going to see how we can mitigate this thing. So definitely it is accepting an external entity which we are defining, right, which is not expecting by the server at that parcel level. So what we can do here, that we can disable this external entity input, because it is dangerous. Like so this is the best mitigation for this. And yeah, this is the main mitigation. Apart from this, we can see, just a second, what is given. Okay, so mitigation for this, yeah, here it is. So two things they have mentioned, that virtually all XXC vulnerabilities arise because XML parsing library does not need an intent to use. Okay, so XML features that application does not need, no need to use, right? This is the thing. But the most easiest and most effective way to prevent this is to disable those features, right? Apart from this, the thing which we can use, it is sufficient to disable the resolution of external entities and disable support for X include. This also we can do, but I'm not bit aware about the X include right now. Definitely, I would learn what is X include. Generally, it is sufficient to disable resolution of external entities and disable support for X include. This can usually be done via configuration options or by programmatically overriding default behavior. Consult the documentation for your XML version libraries. No, definitely what I can suggest here, that disable the feature of external entity. Second thing, use the modern libraries which are supporting the restriction of XXC. These are the two things which you can use in the prevention of the XXC vulnerabilities. Definitely, thank you very much.